3 days away from starting fluoridation in December 22nd, when senior operator and supervisor Jim McVeigh said the schedule had precluded hands-on training by system operators before the process went live. And the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention recently updated information about the fluoridation of water, saying that it actually causes dental fluorosis and should be cut from 1.2 parts per million to 0.7 parts. So they're certainly starting to back off on that front. So good news there. And the people in San Diego, just continue to put pressure on government and get the facts out. You can reverse this. They've tried to just laugh at people for 60 years who bring up the medical science. It was scientists and doctors that brought it up back in the 50s and said it was dangerous. And they've been laughing at us for all these decades, but now the mountains of evidence are crushing their lies. And so victory is in our hands if we just take it. Now, speaking of health care, what it's like to have a government controlled by big banks that own the insurance companies who wrote the health care law to make 30-plus million Americans buy their overpriced products. That's what this was really all about. But then they wrap it in a socialist, loving veneer so that people believe that, who are on the left, that they're actually helping someone. But the truth is, the big banks that own the insurance companies on record wrote the health care plan. They wrote it, they created it, and they pushed it out there. And it's got mandates to give you multi-thousand-dollar-a-year fines if you don't go out and get it, to attach your paycheck. And it allows the big insurance companies that control the HMOs to write policy with through a computer telling your doctor, your dentist, what procedure they can do. So the bureaucracy diagnosing you in, quote, cost cutting. Once they socialize things, once they get us dependent on each other, then they can have social control. They can say what you can eat, what you can drink. Then now they've got to monitor you because you're part of the collective and why your behavior is costing other people money. That's one of the big pitfalls of collectivism. And then it always pushes this surveillance grid. And then they can bring in the one-child policies. Then they can bring in the death panels, the case for killing Granny. Out of one side of their mouth, they say there's none of that going on. Out of the other side, Newsweek, Time Magazine, New Yorker Magazine, Bill Gates, Ted Turner, kill Granny, hire 10 teachers. They're selling you the collectivist model that if somebody dies, you get ahead. So it's a cannibalistic worldview. I mean, I hear liberals, mainline liberals all the time on talk radio saying the pie is this big and doesn't get any bigger. And so if you're going to get ahead, somebody else has got to lose. And why, if there are these ultra-rich people with this much of the pie, why, that means it's taking away from your pie. As long as wealthy people have free market systems and actually hire people and actually produce products or ideas or services, it actually grows the economy. That's basic economics, and the globalists know that. But it is the super robber baron elite who have always waged war against the middle class, against the merchant class, against the shopkeeper class, against the cobbler class, people that made shoes and clothes in their own little shops, because they can become independently successful and independent of the system, and now they don't need a letter of marque. And if you look at, say, Bass Beer, it says the oldest, official copyright in England. And you actually look at that mark for Bass Ale, and it's a letter from the Queen, an authorization in 16-something. I don't have one of the beers in front of me, to be able to brew beer. You had to get a license from the Queenie. Now, how powerful does that make the Queen? That to be able to brew beer, you've got to have her authorization. To be able to take your ship out of the bay into the English Channel to engage in trade, you've got to have a license. To be able to fix your house, you've got to have a license. To be able to grow crops, you get a license specifically for what you can grow under feudalism. Oh, you're in with the king. You're in with the king federal government. You're in with the titular head, the figurehead of the banking imperium, Barack Obama. Oh, you're McDonald's, or you're the big lobbying groups, you're the big unions. Oh, you get waivers from the health care. You don't have to pay for health care for your employees, but everybody else does. Again, everything that is old is new again. Everything that is new is old. Everything we're seeing has been done over and over and over and over again, and we know what it is. It starts with a T, a big T, a capital T, and no, it's not Tyrannosaurus Rex, the tyrant lizard, a terrible lizard, but it's something very similar. It's called tyranny, and it's called mob rule by a mafia criminal syndicate. And if you want to be able to wipe your nose or get married, you've got to get a license to do it. This is not land of the free.
Not all protein supplements are created equal. One World Whey is the first cold temperature processed, 100% all natural, unrefined, bioactive, grass pasture raised milk whey protein. Far from being another ordinary protein supplement, One World Whey is a full spectrum nutrition power food in and of itself, providing overall life-building benefits that touch virtually every human's life that other protein supplements don't deliver on. What are the benefits? Boosts the immune system, anti-aging properties, helps detoxification, helps reduce body fat, excellent for building lean muscle, increases energy levels, enhances the feelings of youth, sports performance, exercise recovery. Who's it for? Busy people, hardworking executives, students, teachers, active seniors, people recovering from illness, office workers, construction workers, and high-performance athletes. Call 888-988-3325 or visit oneworldwhey.com. That's oneworld.com.
A very wealthy U.S. citizen is predicting that in 2011, we will witness the most important day in America in more than 50 years. He says it will change everything about our lives. The way you shop, travel, invest, educate your children, and even how you take care of your health and your own family. Now, this man has made some outrageous predictions over the years. The crazy part is, he's usually right. You see, he predicted the collapse of GM, Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac, and America's biggest mall owner, General Growth Properties. In fact, Barron's called his work a dire prophecy. Recently, he created a video, which you can watch online for free, detailing his biggest and most important prediction yet. And it's a real eye-opener. I can't stress this enough. You should at least watch this free video online today. He explains everything you need to know, including simple steps you can take to protect yourself. You can find the video at www.endofamerica3.com. That's endofamerica, the number 3.com. Watch the free video at www.endofamerica3.com. That's endofamerica3.com.
I'm Roger Rao at Midas Resources. If you are going through a financial roller coaster because of your investment in stocks, bonds, and other paper assets, perhaps you're ready for a change. You have an opportunity to change your financial security. Get the stability and peace of mind you deserve by investing in precious metals. Gold and silver have been a form of wealth protection for over 5,000 years all over the world. If you have seen your hard-earned money lose value because of inflation, sliding dollar, etc., it's time you stop the bleeding. The answer to your problems is simple. Gold and silver will protect your assets and your purchasing power, physical possession of precious metals, IRA rollover, etc. Call me, Roger Rao, at 1-800-686-2237, extension 178. Take action today when we are still accepting paper dollars for gold and silver. Ready for a change? Call Roger Rao at 1-800-686-2237, extension 178. Again, it's 1-800-686-2237, extension 178.
Your natural organic herbal formula for heart health is Heart and Body Extract.
My name is Van, and I'm 68 years old, and I live in Vermont. In the spring of 2003, I started to have problems with my heart. It felt like my heart was pounding, made me feel breathless. I tried many different things to try to get some help for myself. Nothing did anything.
Heart and Body Extract is very powerful, very effective, and works quickly.
I saw one of Sharon's ads and ordered Heart and Body Extract. I noticed a difference quickly, within days. The episodes became less frequent, and by a month had completely vanished.
Usually you find a 30-day or 60-day guarantee. Heart and Body Extract comes with a lifetime 100% ironclad money-back guarantee. Details at hbextract.com or call 866-295-5305. Call 866-295-5305. 866-295-5305 for Heart and Body Extract.
The dependency game, the feudalism game is very simple. Special interest, go in, buy off the government, and then have the government mandate that the people basically pay taxes directly to those private interests. All over the U.S., foreign interests come in, buy off the politicians, have toll roads put on existing roads, and levy taxes directly on the citizenry. And that's what the Health Care Act is. But the Republicans would not attack it from truth. They attacked it and claimed it was communism, which is bad enough. No, it was fascism written by the insurance companies, owned by the big banks, forcing 30 to 34 million, depending on what numbers you look at, to go out and buy this. But then insiders, they don't have to purchase it. Again, an unfair trade advantage, the essence of tyranny. How are we a free society if the government can order us to get health insurance? Can the government, as the federal judge pointed out, make us buy a home to end homelessness? We're going to play part of the clip from the debate in 2008 with Barack Obama, Barry Soetoro, and Hillary Rodham Clinton, where he basically brought up that very point, and that's what the judge, Roger Vinson, put in his 70-plus page, 78-page ruling yesterday. And it's very fundamental. You know, this supposed free society was only free to a certain extent for a little over 100 years. And since then, they've been steadily eroding it. We didn't have property taxes until the last 60 years or so. And now all over the country, they're raising property taxes where people can't even own homes. I mean, it's becoming insane. A small home of $100,000, even in rural areas. I've seen the numbers. You've seen them. You've lived it. You know, they may put a $5,000, $10,000 fee on that. You're paying rent on your home. These are things that unfree nations have always had. And we have to recognize that what made this country so wealthy is being dismantled. But let's go ahead and play the clip of Obama in the debate with Hillary, and then a year later, he starts trying to ram through the health care law, which they successfully got through last year, which does have the fines if you don't get health care, which does force you to get the health care, which does everything he said was so bad. And the judge has rightly put this in his ruling, pointing out the blatant hypocrisy. Here it is. Again, what did candidate Obama say about mandated insurance during the Democratic debates? And here is that clip.
Senator Clinton has a different approach. She believes that we have to force people who don't have health insurance to buy it. Otherwise, there will be a lot of people who don't get it. I don't see those folks. And I think that it is important for us to recognize that if, in fact, you're going to mandate the purchase of insurance and it's not affordable, then there's going to have to be some enforcement mechanism that the government uses. And they may charge people who already don't have health care fines or have to take it out of their paychecks. And that, I don't think, is helping those without health insurance. That is a genuine difference.
But now what does he say about the health care law? Well, now the health care law that they passed does have the fines and fees and does persecute people who don't get it. Now, remember Hillary at the time. Even though we had the legislation that she'd proposed back in the mid-90s, even though we had the legislation that the Democrats were already promoting that said $5,000 fees, garnishing of wages, she said that it wasn't true, hoping that you wouldn't go read the bill. Well, what is now law in this country? What are they now preparing to try to implement in the next 2 years? It takes time to phase it in as it's fought through the courts. They're trying to put exactly what they said they weren't going to do into place. And Obama, in the same debate, went on again to say, and it was a good line, it was a zinger, but now it's being used back against him. He said, look,